Hey, everybody. John Mattis here, along with Tracy Ninney. Hey, Tracy.
Hello, hello.
Welcome to the Securing Success Show. We have taped like 6 episodes in a row over the last 6 weeks. So, and one of those I did solo, one of them Tracy did solo. So we are in rare form.
We're here together.
We are. How are you?
I'm good. Crazy week this week, but overall, I'm counting my blessings and looking forward to the things that can affect in my life and staying positive. Because right now, it's a shit show.
How are you feeling?
How am I feeling? I played pickleball 4 times this week.
Oh,
my
cool.
serve is getting better. I did Pilates twice. I started doing morning classes. So I'm actually feeling pretty good. How about you? What's going on?
When you were out, I said to everybody, I said, Tracy's having surgery. And then after I said it, I said,
you
should I have said that? So,
no.
but then you were upfront and honest with everybody. So I apologize if I put you out there.
When am I ever anything else, John? I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing, right? I know. Transparency.
You are an open book.
I will tell anybody, if you have root canals, ask your dentist for that 360 degree. I'm serious. The x-ray that does the 360, I had infection in my jawbone from root canals that they did not know about that was affecting. They thought I had Hashimoto's and thyroid issue. It's been a nightmare. And we're hoping that this was the source of the inflammation. So if you're sick, malaise, brain fog, whatever, malaise, that's such a good word. Next time you go to the dentist, have them check because it's worth it. Root canals go bad. And I had no idea. That's my public health. Public health
announcement. I was like, oh my God, I need a 360 X-ray.
It sucked, dude. It sucked. Okay.
We got an awesome show. As usual, we have an awesome show.
Get to why these people are listening. Today, I've been waiting for Peter to come on for probably a year. Peter worked with me, partnered with me, Bloomingdale's. He was an in-house recruiter for them and utilized my services to find those special asset protection LP people in the field, extra support to him. He started outside of retail. He started in retail outside of recruiting though. So I'm going to ask him about that and his job progression. But he now is top talent acquisition at Macy's, the really strong background recruiting for a number of different companies. Saks, Bowlmor, S2E20. Are they even around anymore? They're not, are they? Yeah, I don't know. He is amazing at identifying top talent, qualifying the right people, collaborating with his internal team on really finding out what they need and making really good matches. His placements are long-standing, and he is literally one of my favorite internal recruiters that I've ever worked with. His personality is amazing. And so let's introduce Peter Goldschmidt from Macy's.
Hi, everyone. So nice to see you today. That was some introduction.
I speak from the heart.
Thank you so very much. I think that's the nicest introduction anyone has ever shared. So thank you. So glad to be here today.
We're happy to have you. Are we safe to say that Peter will give us all of the ins and outs and give our viewers some tips and advice on what to do, what not to do in the job search and, filling out applications online with companies, things like that?
That is my goal. My goal was to look behind the curtain. It's like finding out that the Wizard of Oz is actually a man with a lot of buttons and not a big scary head. That was my goal for Peter. So we're not doing questions. We're doing a very conversational process here. But Peter, can you tell me a little bit about, you were in retail and you went into recruiting, sales a little bit in between, but what about recruiting kept you in it? What do you love about it?
I think having the opportunity to meet somebody, have a real one-on-one true conversation, getting to know the person I'm speaking with, and then being able to match them up to the perfect role. For me, that's what it's all about. It's having that amazing one-on-one conversation, developing a solid relationship with that person, being genuine. I think if I'm genuine, I want the person I'm speaking with to be able to tell me who they are in a nutshell and not feel nervous about it, but being comfortable.
Well, having a recruiter that can put you at ease to do that is, I think, unique in a lot of instances. Wouldn't you agree, John?
Oh, God, yeah. Peter, so you didn't start in this line of work. How did you transition? What did that look like for you?
Sure. Early in my career with Macy's, I went through their executive training program. I was a department manager, assistant buyer. Fast forward to training and development during the holiday season. From time to time, they asked me to help out in hourly recruiting as we were adding jobs in the months of November and December. And that's how I got involved. And I loved it. I think as a trainer, you're selling the company's philosophy on customer service. Well, if you have a great personality and you feel comfortable talking to people, I think you can start your career. That's a good start to being a recruiter, being comfortable, having a conversation with somebody.
I would think that meeting people, like meeting different people every single day, it's got to be really refreshing.
Yeah, it is. It's almost, I go back to college and going out in the evenings and just meeting people from all walks of life. And I don't think you could teach that. It comes from the heart. It's who you are and your personality, how well you get along with people, how comfortable you are. It's almost having a gift of gab, so to speak.
Almost. Oh, it is. Almost. You and I could talk forever, but that's the piece, right? And we're transparent and open and like to help people feel at ease. And you are so good at that. Every candidate I ever brought to you that met you said, I want this job more now because of what he had to say to me. And that's huge.
You know, it's funny. I truly, in my soul, feel so good to be able to give somebody an opportunity to fall in love with the organization and feel as amazing as I do with the company I represent. And to be able to give somebody that chance, at the end of the day, that's what I love about my job, giving people the opportunity to find happiness.
Because it's not just about the money.
No,
you gotta love what I tell people. You can make $1 million a year, and if you hate your job, you're still gonna hate your job. The vacations will be better, but you're still gonna hate your job.
I always say it's about the people piece. You can work for an organization that's so well known, an Amazon, a Macy's, a Saks, and Neiman Marcus, Bloomingdale's. You can work for a well-known brand, but at the end of the day, you have to love the people that you collaborate with, that you share ideas and knowledge with, that you learn from. It's so important that you cherish those opportunities because you can work for a branded name. You can have the greatest job title, but at the end of the day, if you don't love the people that you're working with, you're really, truly going to be unhappy. And as a recruiter, it's up to me to try to speak with somebody and analyze them while I'm having the conversation. And are they going to be able to have that relationship? And are they going to be able to mesh nicely with that team?
And it's important, right? And I want you to talk about this a little bit. But when I say to people, and they go on interviews and I give a very in-depth prep, is look, it's just as important for this company to be right for you and its corporate culture as you are for it. This is not about proving that you're right for the job. This is about finding out about if it's a fit. And then, so why don't you talk a little bit about how you go about what you look for and how important it is to be authentic in the interview and how easy it is to see when somebody's not.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, be yourself, be honest, be authentic. I tell them to represent themselves as their own brand. I also share with people, as we are interviewing you, you should be interviewing us.
Yep.
Certainly do your homework on the organization. It is so easy today to find out all the facts about the company. Do your research ahead of time. The worst thing that you want to happen is for a recruiter to say, so why do you want to work for us? Tell me a little about us. And you look at the recruiter and you can't share anything. You have the world on the computer. Do your homework. Do your due diligence. Same thing if you're speaking with somebody, there's a good chance that that person that you're speaking with, you could find out all about them on LinkedIn. So make sure you do your research. The best thing that you could do is share something in the interview about the person you're speaking with. They're going to be totally surprised and, wow, this person really did their due diligence, found out about the company, and they even looked into me. Wow, that shows me that they really want this role and they want it at my company.
You know, I'm glad you said that, because I've had this question from time to time, is when you're interviewing with somebody at a company, you know, like if you go to look at their LinkedIn profile, for most instances, they can see, hey, someone looked at my profile. And that, you know, some people say, well, is that going to be a bad thing? You know, that I don't know, you know how things are. So that is a good thing. So when you see like somebody, hey, so-and-so looked at my profile and I'm interviewing them in an hour, that tells me they're doing their homework.
Yeah, it shows a definite interest for sure. I love it. And it happens so little.
That's a great tip. That is a great tip.
Also, if you don't want people, okay, let's just qualify. You don't want to know where they live and tell them that, or that you got to have a line, right? Because we're gearing us towards loss prevention people and investigators, right? So it's history. It's if they mention something in their LinkedIn profile about being a baseball fan, it's going down and looking at their education or their accreditations. And if you have anything similar, volunteer work, that kind of stuff that rounds you out as a human being that you can connect with somebody on. It's not just about, oh, I see you've been at this company for 10 years. Like, you got to do it at the human level, right?
Absolutely. You have to be able to, it's not always all about work. I think as you're preparing to interview in your own profile, take the time to really work hard at developing your LinkedIn profile. It's really a great way to sell yourself to a company, to the recruiter. It's a representation of who you are without us getting a chance to actually speak with you. I'm on LinkedIn probably 70% of my day looking at people's profile. It tells an amazing story of who you are. And even add some of the things that you've done outside of work. We are all human. So, you know, if you coach in Little League, add that. If you were in a sorority or fraternity, you never know if the person that you're speaking with was in the same sorority or same fraternity.
Yeah.
Add those little things for sure. Goes a long way.
Anything that you could do to build rapport.
Absolutely.
On the opposite of that, what are the red flags and things you should not include on LinkedIn and in your social media profile or presence?
I may not say LinkedIn, but social media is really important. If I have an important role and I'm interviewing somebody, I may go to Facebook. I may go to Instagram. I don't want to see that you're a party animal. I don't want to see that you're taking pictures with all your pals, drinking, standing.
Some is okay. Some is okay.
Some is okay.
Whatever. Like,
okay. But it shouldn't be loaded with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've seen on many occasions things that really make me question if this is somebody I would want to bring to my organization. So you got to be careful with things that you post as well, for sure.
And yes, everybody's allowed to have a private life, but now everything's public. So you really don't have a private life anymore if you make it public, and you can't get defensive about it because public is public, right?
Absolutely. And I will share another thing. When it comes to resumes, please be selective in your email address. I've seen some really brutal email addresses that question who the individual is. Stay professional, even with your email address.
I swear to God, I had one that had cougar. It was an older woman, and her email was cougar. I'm like, okay, so we need to talk.
And as a recruiter, if I'm forwarding your email to a vice president and your email address is in question, as a recruiter, I don't want my people leader or vice president to say, hey, Peter, what's with this email?
And so, AOL too. Like AOL is a little too old. You need to have a Gmail or an Outlook. AOL, I'm sorry, guys. Point. Just get another one.
Good point.
Okay, what's your stance on picture or no picture on resumes, and does it affect the AI component or the applicant tracking system thing? Because I literally don't know.
I don't care for pictures on a resume. I will tell you it's very European. Mm-hmm. A lot of people in Europe, and I do get a lot of resumes for industrial engineers, and they're from all around the world. I'd rather no picture, but if you're someone that I have to have my picture, make sure it's professional. Dress beautifully in a nice blouse, a shirt and tie, a blazer.
Play the role.
Nothing that you would deem
professional.
Yeah.
Outside of work.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that picture thing, because I've in my past I've tried that a couple different times. But Peter, let's say go back to LinkedIn, because you get invites from people and you just have their name, but there's no picture. That's an automatic red flag. Quite honestly, from a networking perspective, I don't accept requests for no picture. I mean, it's just me. But what if if you have a very limited LinkedIn profile, just your first name and your last initial, things that may be, I'm trying to not put myself out there. How is that looked upon?
I'm going to be quite honest. I agree. If you do not have a picture, if you don't have a built out profile today in 2025, you're not ready to interview. Because as a recruiter, I'm definitely going to question, why don't they have a picture?
Yeah.
Do they not have any work experience? So yeah, you definitely want to have that built out.
There's a lot of consultants out there that help too. I mean, there's a lot of people that will help you build out your LinkedIn. Honestly, you guys call me, I'll take a look at it and go through it with you and give you suggestions. I never say I'm 100% right, but I'll give you my suggestion.
I'm the same way. I probably get anywhere from 25 to 75 emails a day from people who are seeking opportunities with Macy's, not specifically in my area. And I have to tell you, I answer every single person.
Wow.
They may not be right for my area. They may not be right for the area that's searching, but I represent the company. And more importantly, as I shared a little bit earlier, I represent my own brand. I want people to be able to come back to me. And by the way, a lot of people will say, can you help me with my resume? Or can you help me maybe get my foot in the door? What does it take for me as a recruiter to spend 5-10 minutes with somebody? I'll do that for them. No questions asked.
That is a great thing, guys, because Peter represents the brand, and you want to have a really positive first impression, and that does that, because there are so many companies out there that you apply to, and you never get a response, nothing ever happens, and you say to yourself, I'm glad I didn't go to this company. It's not a good representation as to wanting to go work there. So, by the way, thank you for that.
Yeah, at the end of the day, when I was in high school and college, I was a cabana boy.
Of course you were.
On a beach club. And I remember, for me, I was really good at schmoozing. And being genuine. And it was all about delivering. And I use this on my LinkedIn profile. It's all about white glove service. It's about making sure that my external customers, as well as my internal customers, are taken care of. I want people to walk away, whether or not they move on with a second, third, or fourth interview, whether or not they get hired. I want people to walk away to say, wow, that was some great experience. I didn't get the job at Macy's, but the whole process was seamless and Peter made it special. And I don't know if somebody shops with us or not. And I don't want Peter Goldschmidt to cause a stir and lose a customer at the same time. I represent the brand, Macy's, and that's important. I represent my own brand, just as important. But it's all about delivering that special service that someone walks away feeling, wow, that I was special. Whether you're the best applicant or an applicant that I don't see them in this role, I treat everybody the same way.
Good for you.
Good news.
As a third-party recruiter, it's tough sometimes. You know, we both have very little control of the outcome of what happens. All we can do is work the process. But my goal is for everyone to feel respected and valued and to never feel like they're less than anything. If I've ever made anybody feel that way, sorry, it was not intentional. But I don't think that's been very often, if at all. It's important. It's important as recruiters to treat people well. Okay, so I have an on-the-spot question for you. It's not personally, it's like logistic. Give me a couple of the favorite questions you have that people ask you in interviews that help you decide to move them forward. He didn't have this question before, guys, so give him a minute. If any, I mean.
A question that I love is, what do you love about your organization? What makes it special? Love to hear that. Love to answer that. What do you find the most challenging aspect of making a decision? Why? What have I done that makes me the right candidate?
I like that.
What is the culture like today? And why do you think I'm right for the culture?
So you're going in curious, and that's what I always ask people to do too. Go in curious like a consultant, be fact-finding. Don't just shove your requirements down their throat and show them why you think you're the best candidate for the job. That doesn't work.
I also think it's very, very important that every candidate has a set of 3 or 4 go-to questions. When the recruiter says, do you have any questions? The worst thing you could say is, no, you've answered every question.
Yep.
You got to be able to ask the recruiter something. Have it prepared ahead of time.
Yep.
I even share when I'm done. I don't tell my people leaders this. But
don't say it now, though, because it's going to be out there. Shh. Decide if you want to say it.
For people I care about, I do share a cheat sheet on interviewing to help them through the process.
That's nice of you.
It's a 2-page cheat sheet with how to prepare for an interview, what great questions to ask, and if they don't use it,
that's a qualifier. That's a qualifier right there if they don't use it.
It's because I care about people.
I know you do. Okay, questions to ask that are deal breakers or ones that don't shine as brightly that make you question the candidate. What are some of the bad ones? What's it pay? How much vacation time?
Oh, yeah.
I don't.
Start.
I don't like the answer. So, what's the next role after this?
Okay.
I love that somebody wants to grow, but I tell people concentrate on the role that you're in today. And if you're that good, people will recognize you for the job that you're doing today. Don't worry about tomorrow.
What if somebody wants to find a company that they can grow with, though, and they want to be with them long term? If they asked a question like, is there opportunity to, if I do well, to like grow into other departments? Like, how about that? Because LP goes into operations and HR very successfully sometimes.
I love that. And I will give examples. I have specific examples that I use every year from my review, the percentage and the number of people that have moved around the organization.
Oh, I like that.
Yes, I love that people ask, are there opportunities to grow? It's the way that you're asking the question.
And I want that to be clear to people. Understand that conceptual and specific are very different, and it presents differently for even how you think. And that can make a difference in how you get moved to the next step or not, right? Yeah. But never ask about money or vacation or any of that, right? It comes along organically.
It will, if as you move forward in the process, we will definitely talk about benefits, salary, although in some instances, I will ask right off the bat at the end of my first interview, because I never want somebody to go through the process of exploring an opportunity with us 3-4 interviews down the road. The candidate loves us, not literally. We love them, not literally. And we extend a job offer and we're not aligned. It doesn't make for a great candidate experience. As a recruiter, I'm letting down my people leaders because, wow, we just wasted 5 hours interviewing over a course of 3 weeks. We're extending an offer and we're not aligned. I wish I would have known.
Don't you think that if a candidate gets to that depth, that at some point it's okay for them to say, if you haven't brought it up, but you would because you're so good at what you do, but they're interviewing with someone else, is it okay for them to say, so right now things are feeling really good for me and I'm very excited about the opportunity. Can you tell me where you'd like to ultimately hire somebody in at this level, or what's your salary range to make sure we're aligned? Like, I think forming it the second or third interview, depending on how many more there are, that's okay. What do you think?
I think that's a great point. And again, if you have a solid relationship with the recruiter and you feel good about the conversation and you feel good about the movement as it relates to second, third round of interviews, a fourth round, there is nothing wrong with asking that. There's also nothing wrong with asking, again, you got to feel it out.
Yeah.
Can you share with me some basic benefits?
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Especially if you have kids that are sick or pre-existing conditions. Like those, I have lost offers because the candidate didn't tell me that they had like special doctors they had to go to within network. Now, when I go into at higher levels and I know that they have health issues, we check to see if the doctor's in network before we move forward and waste people's time. So if they can't leave, why even bother?
Good point. Good point.
Yeah.
Hey, Peter,
Absolutely.
I got a question on follow-ups. So let's say, and this is like a 2-part question. You submit your application, but you don't hear anything for a very long time. What do you recommend is the best way to follow up without annoying anybody? Because people need to realize that recruiters are extremely busy. But, what do you recommend there?
If it is annoying, I've learned as a recruiter to get back to people in a timely manner. You're not the only game in town. People might be interviewing at numerous companies. I think if somebody took the time to interview, you owe it to them as a recruiter to get back to them. If you'd like to follow up, I don't think there's anything wrong within 7 to 10 days to follow up with a nice note following up. Always in your interview, ask at the end, what is the time frame that you're looking to hire somebody? And would it be okay if I follow up in 7 to 10 days?
That's great advice. That is really great advice.
What about asking if the role is actually opened and active to fill? Because I'm seeing a lot of posts about fake posts and jobs that aren't budgeted, and like qualifying if they're actively searching to fill the role. Because this is a question I just thought of. So I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah, there are. Certainly on the agency side, I think there is a stigma of collecting resumes and then calling people when there is a job. I can assure you at Macy's, when there's a role that's open, we are actively interviewing.
Good to know.
Now, every recruiter's got a different style. For some recruiters, they can receive 100 to 200 resumes a day.
Yeah.
You can't physically get back to everybody. Lucky that I don't. Well, I shouldn't say I'm lucky, but I think that if somebody's interviewing as a recruiter, I owe it to them to give some insight to where we are in the process. But I think when you're interviewing, you need to ask the recruiter, may I have your contact information? And everybody has contact information today. So always ask. If you're going in person on the interview, ask for a business card if they have business cards today, or make sure you write down their email address, ask, and follow up. More than one time, there's no need.
Yeah. And don't stalk them, like what you mean. And also, I mean, I've had people call me after like 3 weeks go, you know what, don't bother calling me. You haven't called me with any jobs. I was like, okay, so let me get this straight. I don't have anything now for you, but you want to cut off a relationship and leave a really bad taste in my mouth about how you deal with disappointment if I ever have a job for you in the future. And I try to be empathetic and compassionate about it, but that is one way you will absolutely eliminate yourself and put a red flag on your folder. You get pissed and you mistreat or misspeak in an email or lash out, you're done. I don't care why, you're done.
That's a great point. I send, manager level and lower, I'll send a letter that we're not interested. Director, senior director, I'll pick up the call. I'll pick up the phone and call them directly to let them know. I make it a point within 2 weeks of interviewing. If we're interested, if we're not interested, I'll communicate that. If they apply in our applicant tracking system, if we're not interested, we'll send them a note. I love, as a recruiter, when I send a letter of rejection, I love when the candidate sends me a quick note. Thanks for the opportunity. Please keep me in mind. For every single person that sends me a note after I send a rejection letter, I have a separate file by job, who they were. And sometimes I'll go back to that and say, they didn't work out on this particular job, but those people are the ones that make an impact to me personally. They took the time to send me a note after they were rejected. That's a great attitude to have.
Yep.
It's great. That's great. And I'm sorry, we're getting close on time, but I just wanted to ask this. One of the final questions is on that topic. So let's say you are interviewing for a particular job, but during the course of the interview, you handled yourself in a way that made you a candidate for maybe other jobs that you know or that you are recruiting for. So you may not be fit for the one, but just the way you interviewed would be, you'd say, you know what, this is the job for you, but I have another job that's probably more in your, zone of genius, so to speak.
It's a great point.
It's all about attitude and how you handle yourself as a professional. When you're interviewing, think being a professional at all times. You're always being, I'm not going to say judged, but you are. Yeah. We're analyzing you for this role and an assortment of other potential opportunities down the road. Always be that shining star, 100%. Good point.
Oh, what a great way to end this. That was beautiful. Yeah. I'd like to say thank you to Peter Goldschmidt, the man who keeps human in human resources. He has on his LinkedIn profile, and he ain't lying.
I love it.
Thank you so very much for having me today. I love meeting people. And remember, I love giving people the opportunity to fall in love with a company like I have with Macy's. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Peter. So good to see
Peter,
you.
thank you so much. It was great having you. And a lot of great nuggets of information for our viewers.
Everything I hoped it would be. Thank you so much.
So very nice to see you both.
All right. I was going to say have a great rest of the summer, but it's over.
It's over.
I'm sad.
All righty.
You have to enjoy the winter in New York. Not
No.
really fun times ahead.
No.
There you go. Peter, thank you so much for being an awesome guest. Thank you for everything that you do and the information that you share with the viewers. I'm sure somebody's going to come away from this show with something that's going to land them a beautiful job. So that's at the end of the day, it makes it all worth it.
My pleasure.
When you see the show, make a comment on what you pulled away from it and what you loved hearing about it. We'd love to see your comments on the show when we put it up on LinkedIn. Okay? Yeah?
Absolutely.
So
Great.
very nice. And would love to come back at another time. Thanks.
Okay,
Really.
good.
My pleasure.
Have a great
Thanks a
weekend.
lot, everybody. Thanks
That's
again,
a wrap.
Peter. See everybody next time on the Securing Success Show. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.